Welcome back to Alexandria Loves Books. I feel like it's been a while since I've done that intro, so that was kind of fun. Hello, welcome back to my channel, or welcome to my channel if you're new. It is October 1st today, which means it's time to talk about our September wrap-up. I read 7 books this month. It was kind of a interesting, a little bit of a unique reading month for me. But before we get into that, please subscribe. I want to reach 1K by the end of the year, so please subscribe, share my videos and channel with your book-loving friends. And of course, please like the video and comment either your favorite emoji or your favorite book that you've read this month. I only read half of my September TBR. I only read 4 out of the 8. So I only got a 50%, so that means I failed, I guess. But I think I still read books, and that's what counts, and that's what matters, and that's what's important, you know? So I read 7 books in total, but only 4 of them are from my September TBR. And then my genre breakdown, I'll put it somewhere on the screen. 4 of my books this month are romance and like kind of subgenre. 2 of them are historical romance. I have 1 fantasy. This could also like count as YA romantasy, but I put it as fantasy, 1 young adult, and then 1 graphic novel. So starting off with the books from my bookish birthday vlog, go watch that if you haven't already. I started off reading They Both Die at the End in that video by Adam Silvera. I hope I'm saying that right. This is the young adult book that I read. This is about, what are their names? Mateo and Rufus, and on September 5th, which was my birthday, that's why I read it, they get a call around midnight from this thing called Death Cast, which basically on the day that you die, they call you and are like, hey, within the next 24 hours, you're gonna croak. Mateo and Rufus are both like, I don't remember their ages, but like 17, 18. They're in that age range. And they go in this thing called Last Friend. It's like an app that you can connect with people who are also either also having their end day that day, or people who wanna, you know, spend the day with you for your last day. So they meet through that app, they spend the day together, you know, live life to the fullest, do the things that they wanna do. There is a little bit of a romance, but it's like literally crumbs. That's it. There's not a lot. I gave this book 3 stars. I didn't really like it or love it. It was a little boring to me in some ways. It was a little slow, it was a little boring. I didn't connect with the characters very much. And so then the romance wasn't believable to me. I was like, where do these feelings come from? Like, I don't know. It just didn't really hit. It didn't make me sad. I did not cry at the end. I kind of closed the book and was like, now what? It just kind of felt like all like one tone to me, and I just didn't find very much depth in like the characters and the plot and the things that were going on in the writing. And maybe that's because it is a YA book, so some YA is kind of written in a way that doesn't always appeal to me because I am 24 years old, not 17. And then next, also in that video, I read my favorite book of the month, Wild Eyes. This is book 2 in the Rose Hill series. The first book is Wild's Love. This follows Skylar Stone. She is a famous country singer, and she's escaping her life in LA because of some toxicity and drama going on in her life and in that culture and everything. And she goes to Rose Hill to work on a new album with Ford from the first book at his recording studio. She meets West, who is Rosie's brother from the first book, because she's on the side of the road trying to take a video with a bear, and he is driving and sees her and pulls over and saves her life from this bear. And so then she ends up actually staying in the bunkhouse from the first book, which is on West's property. So they, you know, see each other and interact. And I love it. West is a single dad. This is all these books are a single parent trope. He has 2 children, Emmy and Ollie. I think they're 6 and 8, I want to say. They are freaking adorable. They're such good book kids. Some book kids suck and they're the worst. These kids are the best. I love them. So of course it is romance. They fall in love, but then there's the conflict of like, her life is back in LA. She's, you know, this famous singer, and he's like the small town like farmer or horse trainer guy. So how are they gonna make that work? I don't know. Read the book. I rated this 5 stars. I absolutely loved it. I'm just realizing, I think I had a dream last night about Elsie Silver. And I think I just like fangirled and praised her. It's all coming back to me now. I had this dream where I was telling her that she can do no wrong and she speaks to my soul and everything she writes is pure gold. This dream is vividly coming back to me now. So clearly I absolutely love this book. They are soulmates and I just felt so connected to them that like when different conflicts and things were going on and like their lives were hard, I was crying with them and for them because my heart hurt for them and I just love them so much. And it was also so fun getting to read in this book all the characters in this town because like we introduced to a lot of them, most if not all of them in the first book, but now that we're in the second book, we're just getting to know them a little bit more and better, and they're just so fun and I love them. They make me laugh so much. And we also get the next couple in this one, which makes me so excited to read. I think it's called Wild Side and it comes out in March. And then also in that video, I started The Game Changer by Lana Ferguson. However, I did not finish it in that video. I don't know how people sit on the floor for sit-down videos for so long. My back is killing me. I'm an old woman in my old age. This one is about a hockey player and it is brother's best friend / best friend's little sister. So Ian, he comes back to the Boston team, which is where his best friend plays, which is where he had started playing hockey. His dad owns the team. Something happened where he kind of left and went to a different team for a while, and he's finally coming back. And he is dealing with a lot of like bad press and PR stuff based on rumors about his personal life. Delilah, she is a baker on like a local TV show, and which I think is so cute and fun, but her ratings are declining. And so they need to figure out how to get their ratings back up so that they can keep the show going, you know? They decide to have Ian come on the show for an episode and they're gonna bake something together to kind of bring in some more audience, like viewer people, and then also to give him some good press of him just, you know, making some pastries or whatever they make. Fans start thinking that they are together and speculating. So both of their like PR teams are like, you should, you know, just, we're not saying a fake date or anything or like that, but just spend a lot of time together in public, you know? So they're kind of just like nudging them to fake date. This book had so much potential. So much potential. I was so excited for this. I gave it 3 stars. This was so spicy and it didn't add anything to like the plot or their relationship. It made no point to be that spicy. Just, I think it's dual POV, I'm pretty sure, and both of their inner dialogues is just them lusting after each other because she's liked him and had a crush on him since she was like a young girl or a teenager or something. And so the entire time, as soon as they reconnect, she's just like, oh, he's so hot and oh this and oh that, whatever. And then he hasn't seen her in a while and he just thought of her as like a teenage kid. And now he's seeing her as a woman. So now he's like, oh, her body and oh, this and that. And so the entire inner dialogue is just them lusting after each other. I do not believe in their love. I believe in their lust, but that's it. I'm like, if a book's gonna be really spicy, fine, but make the emotional connection strong. So after I finished The Game Changer, I think it was in the biggest reading slump that I've been in this entire year. Truly, the thought of picking up a book made me feel like nauseous. Like the thought of sitting down, opening pages, and just reading a billion freaking words for hours, it sounded revolting to me. I didn't read for like a week to a week and a half, which is why I only read 7 books compared to usually I read like around 10. But 7 is still a lot, okay? It was like a week and a half later, and I was like, I want to read, but I just don't actually like the idea of reading. And I randomly had this nudging feeling that I wanted to read Unexpected Love by Andrea Bouchard. I'm not sure if I'm saying her name right. This is a Christian historical romance. And it just based on the cover, like this is not something that I'd be interested in. Like I found this in a free little library and I was like, I should just try it because like I want to read more Christian romance. The only one I've read is Redeeming Love by Francine Rivers. I love that book. So I was like, maybe I should give it a try. But I literally was looking at this. I'm like, is this like an Amish love story? Like what is, I don't know. It's not really my vibe. But for some reason, I was like, now's the time. I need to read this book right now. So I did. This follows Rena Fields. She is a nurse in a Chicago hospital. She is Christian, her family is Christian. And one day this man gets brought into the hospital. He was found floating in the lake? Yes, Lake Michigan. He is unconscious, he's in a coma, he wakes up, he is blind and has amnesia. So she's taking care of him, and they kind of build a connection. And through her just talking to other patients, but also just with how she speaks naturally and everything, he learns about Jesus through her. And so then he kind of gets connected with her family as well, and her dad ends up kind of being like a Christian mentor to him, and he's like, you know, learning about Jesus Christ and ends up becoming a Christian and following Jesus. And as his memories are slowly coming back, he's healing from all of this, you know, physical trauma that happened. He is like re-looking at his life and making change and becoming a better man, because he wasn't a great person before the accident. And so now he's becoming a Christian. And then through that process, he is, you know, rebuilding his life and also falling in love with Rena. I ended up eating this up. I gave it 4 stars. I loved this book. Now listen, it's still not amazing, but it's amazing for what it is. The banter, the tension, and the suspense, you do not get those in Christian romances often, but like there was tension. There was times where I was like, oh my God. It was so good. And I honestly think I might continue the series. I'm not like in a rush to, but I do think I want to, and I want to actually look into more Christian romances. I want to try to find ones that aren't historical romance. I don't mind historical romance, but I would like to find some modern ones too. So, Unexpected Love was an unexpected great book. I don't know, I'm bad with puns. And then next I picked up another historical romance. This one was not Christian. This is Never Met a Duke Like You by Amelie Howard. So this is giving Kate and Anthony Bridgerton vibes. This follows Lady Vesper and Lord Aspen, the Duke of Graydon. This is childhood friends to enemies to lovers. It's like kind of fun. They are neighbors. They grew up being best friends. Something happens as they get older that separates them and they grow apart. Aspen ends up going to travel like the world and the Americas, as he's like either like a paleontologist or an archaeologist, something along that, you know, nature or line. And Vesper, she ends up being like the matchmaker in the marriage mart. Oh, this is also 1800s London. So like it's the same time period as Bridgerton. And she just is like the matchmaker. She's setting everyone up. They're having great, you know, love matches and getting married and having babies. And she is just not interested in marriage for herself for certain reasons. She's also kind of learned to kind of mask her true personality to be more of like a proper lady in society. Aspen comes back to London after so many years traveling and working. Gets Vesper's help to set up a match for Judith, who's like his ward. From reading it, it seems like Judith, her parents passed when she was a young child and Aspen's mom took her in. So they're not siblings, but they were raised together. So Vesper and Aspen spend more time together. They have so much banter. They get on each other's nerves. They are always arguing, but there's just like tension there, and there's love and lust there. I gave this book 3 stars. A lot of 3 stars this month. It was kind of a mid-month with a few fun little surprises. This was a decent read. I really did enjoy it, but it kind of was a little slow for me. My reading pace was super slow with this book. I think the book kind of just, the pacing was a little slow. I don't know, the writing was, I don't know. I did like the plot. I liked the things that happened. It was funny, and I enjoyed how the things kind of progressed, but it just like, it was slow at the same time. It took me a long time to read this book. And I liked their relationship. I liked them together, but I didn't feel super connected to them either. So it was kind of just like mid. I do think I want to continue the series. This is actually the 2nd book out of 3. They're interconnected standalones. I did not know that when I picked this up, but like it was fine for me to read this like out of order. I do think I want to continue the series, but it's not a high priority for me. And the 6th book I read, Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. This was my fantasy read for the week, or for the month, I mean. Now, this will be involved or included in a longer reading vlog of me reading the entire Twilight Saga series. So I don't know when that will come out. It just depends on how quickly I can read all of these books. They are all very long and take me a long time. And I'm also trying to, you know, work on other videos and reading vlogs and such for you guys. So I don't know when exactly that'll come out. So be on the lookout for that video in the next probably few months. and you'll get my more in-depth thoughts on this book. I don't really know how to even explain this book. I feel like everyone knows what Twilight is about, but this is, you know, Bella. She's moving from Phoenix to Forks, Washington to live with her dad. She hates it there. And she meets Edward Cullen, and he's just mysterious. She wants to know what's up, what he's doing, what's going on, what's different about him. And she learns that he is a vampire. And then they fall in love. I did rate this 4 stars. This is a little sneak peek into that video whenever it comes out. I rated it 4 stars. I really did enjoy it. It was really interesting to kind of see the differences between the like movie versions of the characters and the book version of the characters, and also the different scenes that are in the book that didn't make the cut into the movie, or how like things were slightly different in the book. I am a Team Edward girl all the way. If you're Team Jacob, you're wrong. And then my last book, which I read in like 2 sittings yesterday, was a graphic novel, and that was Heartstopper Volume 3. I can't really say much about this plot because that kind of spoils the first 2 books in the series. But this follows Nick and Charlie. This is kind of taking place during like a summer trip, which is like really fun. They're so cute. I love them so much. Oh my gosh, the season 3 comes out in 2 days. No one contact me on October 3rd. I am busy. I am booked and I am busy. I am binging Heartstopper, or season 3, not volume 3, season 3. Which volume 3 is in season 2 of the show on Netflix. I actually ended up rating this 4 stars. I rated the first 2 5 stars, and I just didn't really know how to rate graphic novels, and I still don't know fully, but I know that I enjoyed the first 2 more than I enjoyed this one. I still love this one, don't get me wrong, but I definitely enjoyed and liked the first 2 more. So these are all of the books that I read in September. I do wish I read a little bit more, but I am very happy that like even with a huge reading slump, I read 7 books. Like that's freaking awesome. Thanks for watching this video. Thanks for hanging out with me. Again, please subscribe and share my channel if you, you know, would like. No pressure, but please do. And I will see you in my next video. Bye.